investment as well. As Robert notes in Chapter 13, if you stop taking risks, you stop learning. Business development can be incredibly rewarding and challenging. If you have a desire to meet your fullest professional potential, selling your expertise will guide you along the way. Its thought-provoking and action-oriented advice can help you fulfill your career objectives and lead you to a thriving book of business. Helen Sean, EVP and Chief Revenue Officer, FactSet Research Systems Limited. Introduction. I never thought I would be in sales. Growing up, I didn't know anyone who aspired to become a salesperson. Culturally, as a first-generation Chinese American, I was under the impression that sales was the white-collar job you took only if you couldn't find any other. This belief was reinforced when I took my first official sales gig during a summer break in college. Prior to that summer, my only work experience had been in a material science lab researching electroconducting polymers. It seemed like a good idea to take on a part-time job doing something different to see what other options were out there, and to supplement my research stipend. Coincidentally, right before break, I received an unsolicited letter from Vector Marketing inviting me to interview for their summer work program. The letter mentioned the company had been established in 1981, and they were expanding. Then I read the magic words, base salary, $17 per hour. At the time, minimum wage was just $5.15. I'd never heard of Vector Marketing, and it wasn't clear what the job was all about, but I decided to show up for my interview anyway. After a long wait in the lobby with several other candidates, and a rather unexceptional interview, I was offered the position on the spot. I envisioned on-the-job learning, market research, and working on a team. So I was surprised when I finally learned what the job actually entailed, selling Cutco kitchen knives. Feeling somewhat tricked, but also intrigued by the high compensation, I decided to give it a go. I accepted the offer, received my sample knife set, and attended training. I learned the standard sales pitch, which included showcasing the most popular knives and cutting a penny into a swan using Cutco's powerful scissors. After training, I was sent on a sales ride-along with a more seasoned Cutco rep. He made the role look easy. He sold a knife set at 2 of the 3 appointments we went to. Then I was tasked to go off on my own. I failed miserably. I gave the presentation to my immediate family, relatives, friends, parents, and anyone else who would listen to me, cutting penny after penny into beautiful swans, but I could not make a sale. I might have been better off trying to sell those swans for a nickel. Finally, my uncle took pity on me and bought a set of knives, but he sheepishly called me to return them later that day once my aunt heard about it. Throughout this process, I felt uncomfortable pushing for the sale or even asking for referrals. I blamed my poor performance on the high cost of those knives, and I griped that Chinese immigrant families do not use 7 different kitchen knives. We only use cleavers. All I salvaged from the job was my sample knife set, which still sits on my parents' kitchen counter. However, I keep the swan cutting scissors on the desk in my office as a reminder that quality products do not sell themselves. They also happen to come in handy for opening those annoying hard plastic packages. This entire experience validated what I already knew. Sales was not for me. Later in my career, after I'd realized this was entirely untrue, I began to recognize this same distaste for sales from many of my professional services clients. I've heard a junior principal at a top management consulting firm say, "I'm not a sales guy. I know my strengths, and I'm focusing on what I do best." Ultimately, he moved into a non-client-facing role, which felt more comfortable to him, but ended up limiting his advancement within his firm. An investment banker at a top-tier firm once told me he was leaving to go where his skills were appreciated, but only after he wasn't nominated for managing director because of his limited success in sourcing business. And then there was the senior manager at a Big Four accounting firm who said, "They deferred me for partnership this year."